Okay, so is it visible my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the objective of this session is what is capacitor, then various types of capacitor, how to identify the capacitance of capacitors, then material use and voltage handling capacity, and then series and parallel equivalents of capacitor and their various applications. So what is capacitor? Basically, it is generally we are saying it is used to block the DC and to pass the AC signals, is it? And hence, we can say either to store the energy or the capacitor can be used or it is a device which is used. Then how it can going on to block the DC or how it AC and all that. That also we will go on to discuss in the next slide in detail. So capacitors are available. Basically, there are two types, that is fixed type capacitor and variable type capacitor. In fixed type, subtypes are as a polarized and second one is non-polarized capacitor. In fixed polarized, that is nothing but polarity. You might have seen, you might have studied such type of capacitor during your first year practicals, and that polarized, fixed polarized capacitor, it is also known as a electrolytic type. It is mostly preferred to store the voltage, like in voltage multipliers or rectifier circuits, and their filters, etc. Then fixed non-polarized capacitor, that means they don't have the polarity. Basically, the ceramic, polyester, paper type, mica type, etc. are under this non-polarized type of capacitor are used for the coupling purpose. Then as a filters, you might have heard these words as low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filters, etc. If you don't know, so we will be going to cover within our electronic circuit syllabus. And the next one is variable but non-polarized. You might have seen the old that radios. There is need to tune that radios properly to hear that particular station, right? So the capacitors in that applications, actual that capacitors are used in tune amplifiers. What is that amplifier? If we have sufficient time, then I will go on to explain what is meant by that tune amplifier whenever we will go on to study the various types of amplifiers under this syllabus, that is electronic circuits. So that variable capacitor are known as, basically in that application, that is like in radios, that is GaN capacitor. It is also known as a trimmer. So these capacitors are used in tune amplifiers. Already I explained what is meant by that tune amplifier, that we will see later on, and radio receivers. Okay. So the first one, that is fixed type and non-polarized, that is ceramic type of capacitor. You might have studied it again during the first year. So capacitance value is given either in number form or directly it is mentioned on the capacitor, or it may be given in color band form. Okay. So the first one, that is by number system, and that ceramic type of capacitor lies under that. So you might be familiar how to find out the capacitance of this ceramic type of capacitor. Again, firstly, I will go on to explain. See, one number is written on this ceramic type of capacitor, that is 224. So by this number, how to identify its capacitance? So remember, first of all, note down first two digits as it is. So you have to write 22 as it is because the number is 224. So note down first two digits as it is, that is 22 into, again 10 is compulsory as that of the whatever you are identifying in case of registers and their resistances. So 22 into that 10 is compulsory, and its power is the third number, that is nothing but 4 in this case. So 22 into 10 raised to 4. And remember again, picofarad is compulsory. That pico term is compulsory. That is nothing but 10 raised to minus 12. And the unit for capacitor, that is farad. So for this given example, that is 2 to 4, the capacitor its capacitance will be 22 into 10 raised to 4 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad. And then you will just rearrange that term. The standard value you can calculate as 220 nanofarad. Okay. Similarly, in case of another type of capacitor, that is electrolytic type of capacitor, its capacitance as well as voltage rating, as it is a polarized capacitor, remember its capacitance as well as voltage, maximum voltage storing capacity, or we can say maximum voltage handling capacity, it is directly given by the manufacturer. As per the shown capacitor, that is electrolytic capacitor, it is written as 470 microfarad and 200 V. That is nothing but this capacitor is of 470 microfarad and its voltage handling capacity is 200 volts. As already I told, it is of polarized capacitor. The care you have to take while using this capacitor in the circuit about their polarity. Suppose by mistake the terminal gets interchanged, means at the place of positive if you are connecting negative terminal and vice versa, the capacitor gets burst due to reverse charging. Okay. So how to identify the positive and negative terminals? You might have studied the positive terminal. Basically, it is somewhat long. That means in terms of its length as compared to that negative terminal. Okay. But this is not the single method to identify the polarity of that terminals, because so many times suppose somebody cut down that long terminal so that it will be somewhat less than that negative terminal, then how you can call that short terminal is positive terminal? And without identifying by another way, if you have connected that capacitor of which that long terminal is somewhat cut down or its length is somewhat less than that of negative terminal, which you are calling it as now as a negative, and if you have connected it in the circuit, then that capacitor will get burst surely. Okay. So the another method is just observe here one strip, white color strip is there, and on that you might be able to observe such type of just like a negative symbol. Okay. So the terminal which is closer to that white strip or any colored strip on which that negative symbol is drawn, the respective terminal will be negative terminal, and nobody can change that strip. Okay, so there will be no chance even if the terminals are cut down, even if it may be equally or somewhat with long and short distance, that length. Okay. So is it okay? Am I audible properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll go ahead. Another type of capacitor of which the capacitance is to be determined by the given color band. So such type of capacitor you might not have seen in our lab also, but such type of polyester type capacitors are available in the market, and how to determine their capacitance as well as extra few ratings are there, that is its tolerance as well as voltage rating. Now, if you compare the color sequence or this table with the color sequence and the assigned numbers, then it is same as that of resistor. So no need to mug up it again and again. Okay, that means separately for capacitor. So you will observe the same sequence, that is black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, gray, and white. And assigned numbers are from 0 to 9. Only the thing you have to remember, that is the tolerance and voltage rating. For such type of capacitors, the tolerance is either only 5% or 10%, and that tolerance band is either green band or white band. Similarly, these capacitors are available with two voltage ratings, that is either of 250 volts or 400 volts. Okay, we'll check it how it is to be determined. So we'll take the first example. See, the first color band, that is red, right? Then the second one is violet, third one is yellow, fourth one is green, and the largest size, it is covered by the voltage rating of that capacitor and its respective color. So remember, again, note down the numbers assigned for the first two color bands as it is. So first color band is red, so its assigned number is 2. I return that 2 as it is. Then for second, which is wallet, its assigned number is 7. So I written that 7 into, instead of writing number of zeros, you can write into 10, the same method which you are adopting for ceramic type of capacitor as well as resistors. So here also you can write the 10. So 27 into 10, and its power, it should be the number assigned to the third color band. That means the shown third color band, in this case, is yellow color. So its assigned number is 4, so 10 raised to 4. And again, same as that of ceramic capacitor, you have to write that pico compulsory. And the unit of that capacitor, it is in farad. Right? So 27 into 10 raised to 4 into that picofarad means 10 raised to minus 12 farad. And when you will just rearrange again that numbers, you will have the answer as 270 nanofarad. Okay. So up to first three color, is it clear? How to identify the capacitance of that capacitor. Now the fourth color, that is for tolerance. The shown color is green in this case. So for green color, the tolerance is 5%, and that's why I written it as it is. So the capacitor is of 270 nanofarad with 5% tolerance. And the last color, which covers the maximum area of that capacitor, is of yellow, which is used for voltage rating. And as it is of yellow colored, its voltage rating will be 400 volts. So how you will write the details of this capacitor? The shown capacitor, as in first example, is of 270 nanofarad with tolerance of 5%. It may be plus minus, and its voltage handling capacity is 400 volts. So you can't use this capacitor if the available voltage is greater than 400 volts. Otherwise, it will get burst. Remember this one, right? Now we'll switch to the second example. First two color bands are red, red. Then third one is orange, then green and red. Okay. So for red, the assigned number is 2, and that's why first two, as they are same, that is red, red, I will write the numbers as 2, 2 into that 10 is compulsory, and its power is the number assigned to third color band, that is orange, and it is of 3. So 22 into 10 raised to 3 into, again pico is compulsory, that is 10 raised to minus 12, and note down the unit of that capacitor, that is farad. So the value of this capacitor for second example, that is the capacitance of this second example, is 22 nanofarad. Then the fourth color band, which is used for tolerance purpose, again it is of green color. That means for this capacitor also, the tolerance will be of 5%. And the last color band, the shown color in this case, second case is red. That means its voltage handling capacity is 250 volts as per this shown table. So this capacitor, second capacitor, is of 22 nanofarad with tolerance of 5%, and its voltage handling capacity is of 250 volts. Now we'll switch to the last example. First color band, that is orange. So the number is 3. Second one is white. Number is 9. So 39 into 10 raised to red. For red color, the number is 2. That means 10 raised to 2. And again, pico is compulsory, and note down the unit of capacitance, that is farad. So the capacitance of this capacitor will be 3.9 nanofarad. Right? Now switch to fourth color band, which is white now in this case. So for white, the tolerance is 10%. So I written here the capacitor is of 3.9 nanofarad and 10% tolerance. And the last one is, that is for voltage handling capacity, as it is yellow colored. For yellow color, the voltage handling capacity is 400 volts. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll switch to the next slide. Why we are calling the capacitor, or we are in general saying capacitor either blocks DC or passes AC. These things we will want to discuss by taking these examples. So the first example, is it visible to all? One capacitor is connected in series with somewhat low resistance RL, and its input signal is shown as time varying signal or AC signal. Okay. So to explain this one, I would like to use blackboard so that it will be very clear to you. So just few seconds. Huh? Okay. If you have any issue, just interrupt me. Huh? So see, as per the shown circuit diagram in our previous slide, there was one capacitor which is connected in series with somewhat load resistance, that is RL, like this. Is it? This is nothing but capacitor, and this one is the load resistance. This one is the V in, that is input signal. Okay. The same circuit, I can draw it like this also. So the intention is don't get confused even if it is drawn like this. This is nothing but RL, this is nothing but C, and this is nothing but your V in, which is time varying. Is it clear? So we can call this terminal as a live terminal and this one as neutral. For AC signal, remember, don't call that terminals as positive and negative. Generally, it is shown like live and neutral. Is it visible? Or shall I change the light intensity? Is it visible to all properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So these shown both circuit diagrams are same, remember. Okay. Now the third diagram I will be going to draw in terms of the equivalent or AC equivalent of that capacitor. This is nothing but neutral, this one is RL, this is nothing but XC, that is reactance offered by that capacitor, and this one is V in with terminal as live and the signal is time varying. Is it visible again? You all? We will be going to check the output voltage or output signal across this RL. Okay. That means we will be going to observe that output over here. That means across RL with respect to by default neutral. See, one and the same thing. Is it? So in the third diagram also, I will be going to check that output voltage across RL again with respect to neutral. Any doubt up to over here? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, what is this XC? XC is nothing but the reactance offered by that capacitor, which is equals to, XC is equals to 1 upon 2 pi FC. That means this term, it is dependent on two factors, and that is nothing but frequency of this applied input signal. This will have somewhat F in, input signal frequency, right? That input signal will have somewhat its own frequency, that may be from 0 to onwards, like in megahertz also. And C, that is the capacitance of that capacitor, right? So if I replace this capacitor by a fixed resistor, whatever we studied during our previous sessions, if I replace that capacitor by resistor, then what will be the difference? As you are already familiar, capacitor is independent of applied input signal frequency. Remember, the resistance of that resistor, it is independent of applied input signal frequency. That means for a resistive network, even if you apply the DC signal or AC signal, the resistance offered by that capacitor will remain same. It will not going on to change. While in case of capacitor, by this formula, it says that what? It says what? The reactance, it is nothing but again the resistance offered by this device, that is capacitor. Okay. So the resistance offered by capacitor, it is dependent on the applied input signal frequency and the capacitance of that capacitor. Is it clear? So see, we'll take a few examples so that it will be very clear to you. Initially, I will go on to consider that F in, suppose it is of 0 hertz, and I will go on to check how much will be the output voltage. Just right. If I adjusted the input signal frequency of this input signal, that is V in of 0 hertz, right? For 0 hertz, how much reactance this capacitor will be going to offer? Anyone?
Infinite.
Infinite.
Yes, correct. It will be infinite, right now. Because 1 upon 2 pi into 0, whatever may be the value of that capacitance of that capacitor. So this term will be infinite. Now remember, infinite reactance means what? This capacitor, it will go on to act as an open circuit. Is it? There will be no path for the flow of current through it. Or here also you can show it like this. You can open it. The reactance offered by that capacitor will be infinite. That means it will act as open, and hence how much will be the output voltage? By the application of input, that is V in. How much will be VO? Just complete this table. See, what is mean by VO? VO is nothing but there is flow of I through RL. There will be a drop across this RL, and that drop is nothing but what? VO. Am I right? Am I right? VO is nothing but what? Drop across RL. Drop across RL is nothing but what? I into RL. Is it? Yes or no? So I into RL, that is nothing but VO. If for 0 hertz input signal frequency, if this capacitor offers infinite reactance means what? The two terminals of that capacitor internally will get open from each other. So no current will going on to pass through it. For the flow of current, there should be somewhat path, is it? And this path is of infinite resistance. It is acting as open. So no current will going on to flow. If current is 0, then how much will be the drop across RL? That will be equals to 0 volt.
0.
Is it clear? Now audible properly? Now we'll take the example at suppose the used capacitor is of 0.1 microfarad, right? And this RL, if it is of, we can say 10 kilo ohm. Okay. Input signal peak to peak is of 10 volts. That means I have to show this input signal like this. Peak to peak, it is of 10 volts. Is it? And the frequency we will going on to change. So this amplitude, it will be of 5 volts. This one will be of -5. So that peak to peak, it will be of 10. Is it clear up to over here?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? This is my input signal, 10 volt peak to peak, which is applied to this combination of capacitor and resistor, right? Initially, we consider the frequency of that signal as a 0 hertz. We observe the reactance offered by that capacitor is infinite, and that's why no current will go on to flow through it, and that's why there will be 0 drop across RL. That means U will be equals to 0. Now, the second case, we will consider that input signal frequency is of 10 hertz. The question is, the obtained output will be 0 or less than input or equals to input or will be greater than input. What do you think? Try to
Sir,
give me
repeat
answer. Shall I repeat it?
Yes, sir.
Shall I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, the input signal frequency is now 10 hertz. Second condition we are taking. Right. The question is, the obtained output will remain 0 volts as that of previous case. That means whenever that input signal frequency was 0 hertz, the obtained output voltage was 0. Is it? For second case, if I applied input signal frequency as a 10 hertz, amplitude is 10 volt peak to peak of that signal, right? The question is, the obtained output will be 0 or less than 10 volt peak to peak, that means less than input, or greater than input, or equals to input.
Equals to input.
Equals to input. VO will be equals to V in. That you are saying, na? VO equals to V in. So this is wrong. Any else?
Less than input.
Less than input. Okay, the answer is correct, but why it will be less than input? The first thing, remember, the reactance offered by this capacitor, it will not be infinite. Are you agree with this? For
Yes,
second
sir.
case, that is for 10 hertz, the reactance offered by this capacitor, it will not be equals to infinite. It will be some finite reactance. That means you can check in any one diagram, the reactance offered by this capacitor, that is XT, it will not be equals to infinite now. For second case, that is whenever our input signal frequency is 10 hertz, right? Try to find out the value of Xc. See, if Fin is equals to 10 hertz, Xc will be equals to how much? It will not be infinite. How much it will be? It will be 1 upon 2 pi into 10 into C. The capacitance of that capacitor, we taken it as 0.1 microfarad, right? It is of 0.1 into 10 raised to minus 6. Is it visible to all? Whatever I am writing on the board, is it visible? Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So use this formula, that is Xc equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Consider F, that is input signal frequency, as a 10 hertz, that is our second case, and capacitance of that capacitor is of 0.1 microfarad. Okay. So how much will be the value of Xc? Find out it. Take notebook, pen, and calculate. And firstly, give me the answer. 1 upon 2 pi into 10 into 0.1 into 10 raised to minus 6. Fast.
One point 59 into 10 raised to minus 7.
No, it will not be 10 raised to negative. The power will be
1.59.
positive because 10 raised to minus 6, it is at denominator.
159.15 into 10 raised to 3.
How much?
159.15 into 10 raised to 3.
159.15
15.
into 10 raised to plus 3, is it?
Yes.
So here we can say it is approximately of 159 kilo ohms. Am I right? Approximately, we will want to call it as 159 kilo ohms. Right? Yes or no? Those who are doing. We'll consider it as 159 kilo ohm. Okay? So see, this one is 159 kilo ohm. RL, we taken it as 10 kilo ohm. How much will be VO? Can you determine it? These things we already discussed whenever we are studying about the resistors. That is, you have to apply the voltage divider rule. Is it? In this case, VO will be equals to V in, that is source. Source is how much? 10 volt peak to peak. Is it? So take it as 10 volt peak to peak into the resistance across which we are measuring the voltage. So where we are measuring the voltage, we are taking that voltage across RL, which is of 10K. So 10 into 10 raised to plus 3 divided by total resistance of that path. That is voltage divider rule. So the total resistance will be 169 kilo ohm. That is 169 into 10 raised to plus 3. Is it correct? Check it. So instead of writing this V peak to peak, if you are getting confused, just note down the value, that is 10. 10 into 10 into 10 raised to plus 3 divided by 169 into 10 raised to plus 3. So how much is the answer? How much is the answer? Apply the voltage divider rule.
0.56.
0.56, is it? So it will be in volts. As we are taking input in volts, that is 10 volt. Obtain output is only 0.56 volt. So see, the output voltage, it is less than input. Agree? Now the third condition, take it as 100 hertz. Find out the VO. Fast. For 100 hertz, the XC will get differ. It will not going on to remain as 159 K, right? Because we are increasing frequency from 10 hertz to 100 hertz now. So whenever that frequency will get increased, the reactance it will get decreased. That means it will be surely less than 159 K. And whenever that XC will get decreased, that means this term will get decreased. VO, it will get increased. So just check it. I'm
15.9
waiting.
nano.
No. How much?
15.9 kilo.
15.9.
15.9 kilo ohm.
Correct. XC, na? Now, directly determine the VO. If XC goes to 15.9 K, now determine VO. It will get increased. It will be 5.6 volts. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It will go to 5.6 volts. Is it? Now, by this calculation, what you understood? For the shown circuit, whenever we are increasing frequency from 0 hertz to onward, there is increase in output voltage from 0 to, okay, we'll take one example. Suppose this input signal frequency is of 1 kilohertz, so that it will be very clear now to you. If it is of 1 kilohertz, F in, what will be the effect on VO? VO will get increased, is it?
Decrease.
How much?
0.056.
No. How it will be 0.056? Initially it was 0.56. Later on it increases to 5.6. We are increasing frequency from 100 hertz to 1 kilohertz. 1 K means 1000 hertz.
56 volt.
Expected output is now 56 volt. Now the question is, can we really obtain that output at 56 volt in this example or for the shown circuit? What do you think? Can we really obtain output at 56?
No, sir.
No, why? Because
Sir, input is 10 volt.
right, our input voltage is 10 volt peak to peak. That means this is not amplifier. This network, it is purely a passive component network. It will not going on to amplify any input signal. Whatever output you will get, it will be either less than input or maximum equals to input. Is it? So at 1 kilohertz, expected output is 56 volt, but it will reach to approximately equals to V in, and that is of 10 volts. Am I right? So if you try to plot whatever we discuss, that is nothing but the response between input signal frequency and the output voltage. It will look like this. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
This is nothing but your output voltage, and that will be maximum 10 volts, peak to peak, right? Now, can you determine that frequency at which you are getting output equals to input, and later on it will remain equals to input? Because here expected output was 56 volt, but what we discussed, what I told, the obtained output never gets exceed to input, as it is a purely passive network, right now. So can you determine the frequency of this input signal or the same network, that is capacitor of 0.1 microfarad and load resistance is of 10 kilo ohm, at what frequency and later on the output will remain equals to input? You can determine it. Just whatever calculation is there, you have to reverse it, right? So that you can determine that input signal frequency. That means somewhat moderate frequency, and that will be in between 100 Hz and 1 kilohertz. Your calculated value, it will be between 100 Hz and 1 kilohertz. That means it will be over here. That value you have to find out at which you are getting that output equals to input, and that is 10 volts. So in another word, we can say at this frequency between 100 Hz to 1 kilohertz, whatever you will determine, at that frequency, your Xc, it will be approximately equals to 0 ohm. Or it will be very, very small. We can say it will be negligible. Now remember, for that particular frequency, if Xc becomes negligible, that means we can consider this path as a zero resistive path. Is it? Yes or no? At a particular frequency, that Xc will be approximately equals to 0 ohm. That means the capacitor, it will go on to act purely as a short circuit path, and hence the obtained output voltage will be equals to how much? That is nothing but input. Is it clear?
Yes.
Right now. So I think by this method, that is a combination of the PowerPoint presentation plus Blackboard, it may be useful to you. Shall I prefer the same method onward? Or shall I go only by PowerPoint? What is your suggestion?
Both.
Both. Combination, na? Okay. So from next lecture also, we will go on to discuss with the same method, and I think our time is also over. So we'll go on to stop, and during next lecture, we'll discuss about the next circuit diagram, which I shown today. That is the capacitor. It is in parallel with RL instead of in series, right? So you might have understood why we written it, that sentence, capacitor blocks the DC and passes AC. If it is connected in series, see, blocks DC means what? Whenever we consider input signal frequency as a 0 Hz signal means what? It is a DC signal. So for DC signal, what happens? That capacitor was acting as an open circuit, and the reactance of that capacitor becomes infinite. Means we are not getting any output right now. That means we can say that DC signal, it gets blocked by the capacitor. While for AC signal, that means from 10 Hz to onward, what we discussed, we are getting the output. Is it? That means that capacitor is not blocking the input. Even it is partially blocking that input, but some output we are getting. It do not blocks that input signal completely, or we can say 100%. It blocks that input signal with, we can say partially only. We are getting somewhat output. That is non-zero output. That zero output we are getting only when that input signal was DC signal. That means its frequency was 0 Hz. Is it clear? And hence, we are generally saying the capacitor, it blocks DC and passes AC. Is it clear now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.